Hi everyone, this is Callie Respisi, the Collections Manager at the Bennington Museum, welcoming you back to another Tour of 10. And today I'm going to talk to you about some of the very first artifacts ever cataloged into the Bennington Museum's collection. When the museum opened in 1928, these are the very first pieces that were cataloged, which is kind of neat. They're neat pieces too. These are illustrations for a reprint of Daniel Pierce Thompson's book, The Green Mountain Boys. And this book was originally written by Judge Thompson in 1839, and it is a Victorian Gothic novel based rather loosely on Vermont history. And it's one of the books that really popularized the Green Mountain Boys and Ethan Allen as good Vermont heroes. So this illustration here is the one on the very cover of the book, and this is Green Mountain Boys enjoying a rustic meal out in the forest. They are wearing, buckskin clothing, nice uniforms. They have the little tri-corner hat. They've just successfully hunted a deer, and our young men are about to go and have an adventure. This book was written for young adults, for young men, for boys, and it was supposed to really give them good role models. So in our next picture here, this is Ethan Allen. And in this illustration, what Ethan Allen is doing, he's at the Catamount Tavern here in Bennington, and he has been drinking with this group of British redcoats and trying to get their plans. Now, in reality, Ethan Allen had a reputation for heavy drinking at a time when heavy drinking was the norm. But even when heavy drinking was what everyone was doing, he was a particularly heavy drinker. But in the story, this is a children's story, Ethan Allen is pretending to be drunk. He's actually just taking the rum, pouring it down his chest, and it's all gathering in his boots. So when he goes outside, he takes off his boots and dumps it out, and all this rum spills on the ground. So he claims that not a teaspoonful of rum has actually passed his lips, which is an interesting thing. But anyway, here he is pretending to be drunk in our lovely children's story. And moving along, of course, since this is a book full of daring do, here are our Green Mountain Boys. They are in a house. They are trying to attract some attention safely so that they can lure their the enemy in close, and they have success. They capture Fort Ticonderoga, and here is our rider coming to announce the news. Everyone is just so excited for the Green Mountain Boys. They've done good work. But of course, this is a Victorian Gothic novel, so there's also an underlying love story. Here we have Alma, the Green Mountain Maid, rejecting her Tory lover, the bad guy. And one of the great things about this book is that in the end, of course the Green Mountain Boys win, and all of the good guys end up going on to fame and fortune and happy family lives. The bad guys all end up either dead or stuck in a life of shame and poverty and absolute not good times. So it is very much a product of the 1830s. There is a lot of excitement. There are secret passages. There is mistaken identity. There's childhood abductions. It's pretty great. I mean, if you like this kind of thing, it's quite fabulous. But very Victorian. And the 1927 edition is also really quite a delight. So these, as I said, were given to the museum in 1928 by the publisher, just after the book had been done. And they were on display for many, many years. And one of the interesting things is that if you look at the original illustrations versus the watercolors as they appear now, you'll see that the colors have definitely shifted quite a bit over the years. So some of they're looking a bit greener than they ought to. The colors aren't quite as bright as they used to be. So we do still put these on display every now and then. They were last out a few years ago for a display of the Green Mountain Boys and the Catamount Tavern. But they stay in storage for the most part these days so that they don't continue to fade any further. But it's another great story, and if you want a really entertaining book for your bedtime reading, I recommend the Green Mountain Boys.